What is up, YouTube? Coming at you guys with my prelim picks, finally. First fight of the night on UFC on Fox 2. That's what the picks are for, by the way. Is Chris Camozzi versus Dustin Jacoby. I think these guys both last fought at UFC 140 or 137. And Chris Camozzi, I'm pretty sure he got out-grappled, but he did show some impressive hands in the fight. And Dustin Jacoby, I'm pretty sure I saw him get beat that night as well. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. I remember the name sounds really familiar, but yeah. I like Chris Camozzi. I liked him since I saw him scrap on The Ultimate Fighter. And I definitely like seeing him in the UFC, so I'm going to go with him probably by a third-round TKO because he's tough. And next we got Beltran versus Johnson. LeVar Johnson, one of the first crossover fighters from Strikeforce. This seems like a pretty good fight from who makes a matchup. Joe Silva, it seems like he made a pretty good fight right here. I like LeVar Johnson. I'm pretty sure he's the guy who got shot. And Joey Beltran, the Mexicutioner, how do you not love this guy? He's like a fucking zombie. The way he ran at Pat Barry after taking all those leg kicks is just pretty phenomenal that someone can actually be that tough, because I would probably cry. But yeah, I like both these guys. Experience is pretty much the same. Both have been doing this for a while. Joey Beltran probably has some bigger wins. LeVar Johnson, he has good wrestling. Joey Beltran's more of a scrapper. These guys are no means A-listers of the heavyweight division. Joey Beltran could be on his way up. LeVar Johnson, I know the guy, but I haven't seen him fight a lot since he was fighting on the lower Strikeforce cards, the Challengers. I don't watch those all the time. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to go with Beltran here by decision. He has more height, probably being the UFC guy over the Strikeforce guy. But that could also mean LeVar Johnson has something to prove. I don't really know which way to go on this one. I'll just go Joey Beltran by decision, because I've become a fan of the Mexicutioner. We got Michael Johnson versus Shane Roller. A really interesting matchup. Definitely give the experience factor, even though Michael Johnson has one more fight than him, to Shane Roller. He is, how do I describe Shane Roller? He's a really good wrestler with power in his hands. He definitely has power to drop someone. But I don't know if he's going to be able to drop Johnson. Johnson proved he was a pretty tough guy. And I don't know. I'm trying to look for it. I can't even realize that I didn't. My bad. I'm pretty sure they're both coming off losses, though. Yep. He's coming off a heel hook loss at UFC Faber versus Cruz. And Shane Roller. Oh, Shane Roller replaced this fight. He lost to TJ Grant. Oh, man. He lost to TJ Grant. That's sad. Yeah. That sucks that he lost. But he's on 2 straight losses, and he was pretty good in the WC. I'm pretty sure he was a force in there. So it sucks to see him on kind of a slope. I think he'll be able to get back, though. Michael Johnson hasn't really fought a guy who's fought, more. I don't know. He hasn't just fought someone I think has been in a high level, really. And, well, before I say that, I should probably fucking check that out. I don't know. I've seen both these guys fight. Both have knockout power in their hands. Both have great wrestling. So that's what makes this fight. If you think about it, it could just, you know what I mean? It could be on the feet. It could be a good scrap. And in that case, I'd probably, I don't know. I like Shane Roller, but I'm going to give it a third-round KO for Michael Johnson. Because thinking back on it, he rocked the shit out of Jonathan Brookings a couple times. And that was just devastating. So, third-round TKO for him. Charles Oliveira versus Eric Wisely. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I've ever seen Eric Wisely fight. Seen Charles Oliveira fight, though. The kid's super tough. He was supposed to be the next big prospect at lightweight. When he came in, beat Escudero, got that quick triangle, showed off all these fancy kicks and strikes. Very flashy. And I like the guy. He got finished by Donald Cerrone's last fight. Pretty sure he's down at 145 right now. And it should be a great fight for him. They're probably, thinking on it, he wasn't a big name. He was getting to be a big name, kind of like Dedham was. But yeah, I'm just going to say since I haven't really seen Eric Wisely fight, I'm probably going to say this is maybe and don't get me wrong, I'm sorry if Eric Wisely is some great fighter that I've never really heard of, but yeah, I'm probably thinking this is a fight for Charles Oliveira to get his groove back and get back into things, so I'll just give it a decision to Charles Oliveira. Alright, we got George Roop versus Cub Swanson. Very interesting fight. George Roop, 12-9-1. Don't let his record fool you. This guy's a beast. Probably one of my favorite featherweights for sure. I'm pretty sure he lost his last fight, but in my opinion, I was watching and he won. Very dominant over a fighter. What the fuck was his name? I don't know. Was it Omigawa? No, I don't know. But it was a Japanese guy I know, and there's some other guys on the fan side that I'm on, and they were calling this guy the number one featherweight in the world, and that he was gonna be Jose Aldo, and he's this and that, and I never even heard of him. And George Roop went in there, in my opinion, beat him, and then lost the fight. So that extends his record. Looked very great in the win over Josh Grisby and Cub Swanson. This guy's got tons of talent, man. Before Jose Aldo came around and broke his face, was that what had happened? Did he break his face? I don't know. But before Jose Aldo kind of came in and kind of destroyed him, he was on a tear, and he was one of the biggest names in the featherweight division. And his last fight, he actually looked outstanding, and he got cocky and he got caught. He's probably not going to let that happen again. I tweeted at him, and he tweeted back about that, so that was cool. And yeah, these guys have been going back and forth on Twitter, and I really like these guys, and I'm really excited to see the fight because they're both very exciting fighters. And yeah, saying that though, I'm still going to give it to George Roop. I think he has more to prove. He's 1-3 in his last UFC fights, and I don't know, man. I just think George Roop's a great fighter, even though his record will fool you. I still think he's on his way to the top, and he's becoming, well, I don't know, just with his fights, not the Korean Zombie, he's a tough guy. And Cub Swanson, he has a lot to prove too. He's probably the quicker, more athletically gifted fighter, but I think George Roop will find a way to overcome that, maybe use his reach. And yeah, I'll just call it maybe a third-round finish for Roop. TKO. Johnny Bedford versus Mitch Gannon. Mitch Gannon. This is a light replacement, I'm pretty sure, for... Is it Eddie Wineland? Was that who was supposed to fight? Because I remember Johnny Bedford was a placement for someone. You know what? I don't know if I'm right here, but I think it was Miguel Torres and Eddie Wineland, and they were supposed to fight. Then Miguel Torres dropped out because the whole Twitter fiasco, and Johnny Bedford stepped in, which is a great fight. And then Eddie Wineland got hurt, so now we have this guy. Looks like a good prospect, 8-1. Sorry, haven't seen him fight. Johnny Bedford though, he's vicious, man. He was really aggressive, uses his reach really well. He's a really big bantamweight, and I'll just give him the decision here because never heard of this guy, and I think Bedford's going to the top of the bantamweight division. John Olavainamo versus Mike Russo. How are you not going to love Mike Russo? He was this fat guy, gets his arm broken by Todd Duffy. Fight that he's not supposed to win, still gets a knockout. I think that's phenomenal. John Olavainamo, I thought he was cut. Apparently the whole Golden Glory fiasco was just, UFC reversed their decision on it, and he's back in the UFC, which is a good fight for Mike Russo. Inamo's, I don't know, he's a name. I'm pretty sure he's done something. He's a good fighter. He has good what was it? I'm pretty sure he's an Abu Dhabi championship champion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's one of the submission champions of that. And so he's got a good grappling. And Mike Russo, he has a good wrestling background. He beat John Madsen, which is tough because John Madsen's just a grindy wrestler. And Mike Russo took it to that guy. So I'm going to give it to him here. Third round decision, probably going to make a name for himself. A guy that a lot of people thought wasn't even going to make it through his first or second UFC fight. I just like stuff like that, knowing that this guy was thrown to the wolves because it was a fight that he was not supposed to win. At the time, Todd Duffy had the fastest knockout in the UFC, and they gave him Mike Russo, just a guy to kind of use as a punching bag, which he was for a couple rounds, but he still got the KO, and he has a lot of respect in my book, at least from me. Nick Lentz versus Evan Dunham. I hate Nick Lentz. The most boring fighter I've ever seen in my life. When he fought Andre Winter, that was the most ridiculous, boring waste of 15 minutes I've ever had in my life. And Evan Dunham, I love this guy. Exciting, great ground skills, great striking, ever improving. A lot of people think he beat Shirk. I don't think he beat Shirk. Shirk was on top of him for 4 minutes in the second round, and obviously won the first round. So I don't think just hitting someone for the last minute of a round should win you the round. That's just my opinion. Nick Lentz, though, I'm pretty sure he fought Charles Oliveira last, got his orbital fractured, but it was an illegal knee. So I guess his record's 23-4 and won no contest or some shit. But I'm not a fan of Nick Lentz at all. I don't like the guy. I just want to see him out of the UFC. Seeing someone just cage hump you and not be able to get the takedown so they have no problem laying against you the whole time it's disgraceful. It's not why I watch MMA. And yeah, you'll have Joe Rogan there saying, this is a big part of it and shit. No, it's not. You want to see either some groundwork or you want to see. You just don't want. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see anyone just push someone up against the cage and lay up again and lay on them for 15 minutes. It's disgraceful. And Evan Dunham has great groundwork, great striking. He's just a phenomenal fighter. He was on his way to be the #1 contender before Melvin Gillard KO'd him bad. And I think he's working his way back up. He just beat Shamar Bailey in a fight where, even though Shamar Bailey isn't a great striker, he showed off his striking skills and teed off on him at will. And I think this will be a good fight for Dunham to get some momentum back, since Lentz does have a really impressive record at 23-4. And I'm probably going to give it to Evan Dunham by decision, just because even though I don't like Nick Lentz, he is a very tough fighter and probably hard to finish. So I'm going to give it unanimous decision to Evan Dunham. I'm sorry, I don't even know how long that video was. I feel like I ranted on about a lot of things, and I don't know. I feel sorry that I had to rant and shit. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, rate, subscribe. It means a lot to me. Follow me on Twitter, Thug_Jitsu. Eve Edwards fan. Get at me. See you guys later.